People trust the media to inform, educate, and shape perceptions. But what happens when the media fails to report an issue correctly or doesn't report it at all? Society remains unaware and voices go unheard. This is the reality of disability reporting. For a long time, persons with disability were invisible in the media. Their stories were untold, their struggles overlooked. But as times changed, media houses introduced programs to champion disability rights and inclusion. However, one question remains: are journalists being trained to report on disability accurately and sensitively? In Kenya, the challenge persists. Too often, people with disability are portrayed as objects of pity rather than individuals with rights and agency. Recognizing this gap, Murang'a University of Technology took a bold step. The institution introduced a new unit dedicated to disability reporting, a groundbreaking initiative aimed at shaping a more inclusive and ethical media industry. But how does this unit work, and what impact will it have on the future of journalism? This is the story of inclusive journalism, Murang'a University's Disability Reporting Unit.
Disability reporting is an emerging issue. Not so many people have taken up. Actually, Murang'a University is the only university in Kenya that is offering disability reporting, and I can easily say it is the only university in Africa. Maybe if South Africa have started.
All right, we are getting somewhere now. But what might have influenced Murang'a University to introduce disability reporting unit in its curriculum? Let's hear from Dr. Jacqueline Ridubui once again.
We don't have the right representation of people with disability in the media, and this has been collaborated by so many researchers that have been done. The representation or the framing of disability in the media is still skewed. So we have disability in the media, we have disability in the society, but the wrong representation, which also just make people with disability continue being stigmatized. So what we are trying to do is have people with disability in the media with the right representation, with the right framing, because if we do that, then we are going to reduce the stigma of stigmatization of persons with disabilities, and we are going to have the right frames, the right language and the right stories in the media.
Now the balance shifts. How does this society view people with disabilities as?
If we still view disability as something which is bad, something that needs to be fixed, or people who are not worth, that is what we are still seeing that in social media and mainstream media. And especially we say the people who are working in the media house, they live in the society, they don't live in the mass. So if they're living in this society, that the society that is flawed, the society that is ignorant about disability matters, we don't expect so much a difference of representation in media.
Now, let's go back to our journalists in training. Is there a guide that they are taught on what to follow? Are there terms they are taught? Maybe they should use, or maybe they should not. Let's hear from Madam Jacqueline once again.
So on matters of ethical reporting when it comes to disability, as a lecturer who teaches disability reporting, what are some of the key principles you emphasize when training future journalists?
Yeah, the first thing is the language we use in disability reporting, because language keeps on changing. So I insist on language because language change, and language can even help you to feel important or not important. When we talk about language, it is about valuing people, making people feel comfortable, and even giving people opportunities. Because if I see a person with disability as a person first before disability, then even when they come to my office with the CV, I'm going to see their people first, before instead of just seeing disability and giving them some token of money. So for future journalists, we really insist on language and terminology, because language is very important in changing the perspective of people with disabilities, how their stories are being told and the opportunities they get in the world. That is one. Second is about stereotypes. trying to change the mentality that we've had about disability. Disability being evil, pitying people with disability, disability being heroism. So for the future journalists, I also insist on making them realize the stereotypes that are there. They're called conscious biasness, what we grow up believing. So I really try hard to teach them about that so that they can see, and then in their reporting, they don't do that. Because if we don't change stereotypes, when we produce our stories with the same narratives, we are not going to change the story of people with disability in the society. Remember, media is the mirror of the society. What we see in the media is what we do as a people. And also we believe in media because it sets the agenda. We believe in the media because it educates, informs, and entertains us. So if we can be able to remove the stereotypes in the media, then the society will be enlightened and the society will also change their perceptions about disability.
On the frameworks guiding disability reporting, this is what she had to say.
The overarching framework is the UNCRPD, the United Nations Convention for Persons with Disabilities. So it has guidelines on how people with disability need to be represented in the media and even the language to use. So we just get all the guidelines from that, and then we can develop specific for specific countries and for the specific regions. So they already have a big framework. They say in the media, this is the problems we are having. In the society, the language that is supposed to be used, this is the language. And then from there, there's an organization like UNESCO, which is still UN. They still have also a framework on how media is supposed to report disability. So they have all these like short courses where journalists can be able to attend and also learn on how to report on disability. But most of these things people are not aware of. And also at Internews, they had a project on disability reporting. And on that project, we developed a manual and we also trained journalists in Sub-Saharan Africa on how to report disability. So we have guiding frameworks. So we use just the overarching, which is UNCRPD. What does UNCRPD say about disability, personal disability? How are they supposed to be treated in the media, in the society? So from there, you just break down and use that to teach disability.
Let's hear from the students on what they have to say about the unit. Why do you think Murang'a University of Technology saw the need to introduce the disability reporting unit, and how do you see its significance for journalism students?
Okay, personally, I think that they introduced the unit so as they could be the voice. As you know, with the media, we are the gap between the public and the government and any other associated organization that may help people who are in need. So it was introduced so that we can help to voice the agencies and the needs of persons with disabilities. And it is helpful since they will be heard and they won't be neglected or treated in any other way that may suggest that they are not liked or they are not respected in any way.
Skills and knowledge have you gained from this unit that you wouldn't have learned in a traditional journalism course?
Okay, personally, through this unit, I have managed to learn new words that are used in disability reporting, such as persons with disability. We are not supposed to say persons living with disability. We are supposed to say persons with disability. I have managed to learn new words and new phrases that I could use while addressing persons with disabilities.
Yes, Edwin?
Yes, thank you.
What are some of the biggest challenges journalists face when reporting on disability issues, and how does this unit prepare students to tackle them?
First of all, journalists in the field face something we call imbalance, because you either choose, are you going to report it ethically, or do you want to report it for the gain, you see? So if you report it for the gain, it will attract more people. But if you report it ethically, it will not attract more people. So this is whereby you face challenges. Your editor wants that you focus on the disability that this person has. But you as a journalist, you want to focus on something else rather than the disability that this person has. So those are some of the challenges that journalists face. So if you consider this unit helps to prepare you, gives you an understanding of the stereotypes that one should not use. It helps you understand that a person with disability, you should not focus on the disability. First of all, look at the person.
And that's what is very important in the field, because if you focus on the disability that this person has, at the end you're going to report the disability, you're not going to report the person. Yeah.
Okay. How do you plan to apply what you've learned in this unit to your future journalism career?
For my future journalism career, I want to ensure that when I do disability reporting, I focus on the person and not this disability, because the disability is already there, but I want to focus on the person. What job do you do? What career are you in? What are some of the things that you do apart from your disability? So this discrimination, this stigma that is there in the society, that's one thing I wish to eliminate, and that's why I'm going to focus on the person, not the disability.
Okay. Our last question is, how has working on disability stories impacted your understanding of inclusive journalism and ethical reporting?
Pardon on that question?
How has working on disability stories impacted your understanding of inclusive journalism and ethical reporting?
It has helped me understand some of the stereotypes that are there. It has helped me understand some of the things people with disability don't want discussed. It has helped me know how to relate with them, human to human interaction, not that you are an alien and I'm a human being. No, I've known how to relate with them as a human. I've learned how to, deal with them, make sure I don't provoke them, and, just make them feel comfortable so that I can do my reporting. Yeah.
As we edged closer to finishing, Dr. Jacqueline Ridubui issued a call to action to other institutions, journalists, and those struggling to understand and support people with disabilities.
First thing is to start interacting with people with disability. When you start interacting with them, you'll know the stories that they want to be told. You'll know the way they feel, and you'll be able to know the way they want it to be reported. And you'll be able also to realize people with disabilities have the same interests, the same ambition. They love, they get sick, they get disappointed just like a person with disability. So developing interest before even you start reporting. And nowadays there are so many online materials that can help journalists on how to report disability. UNESCO has a lot of material. Internews have done a lot. They have a whole page on disability reporting, so you can get tips there. And when you get maybe to hear trainings on disability reporting, you need to avail yourself so that you can learn so much, because disability reporting is an emerging issue. Not so many people have taken up. Actually, Murang'a University is the only university in Kenya that is offering disability reporting, and I can easily say it is the only university in Africa. Maybe if South Africa have started, but because I've done disability reporting across Africa, I've never had journalists telling me we learned this in school, and this is something we were working towards. So we are happy that Murang'a University is doing this. And when you guys graduate, we are happy that we have people there who are going out to represent disability in a good way. So it's just a call to other media professionals, other media houses, other media managers to embrace disability reporting so that we can have the right representation in the media.
As we wrap up, one thing is clear. True inclusion starts with understanding, action, and commitment. Dr. Jacqueline's Ridubui call to action reminds us that institutions, journalists, and society must step up to create a world where people with disabilities are fully seen, heard, and valued. The journey doesn't end there. The change begins with you. Let's build a more inclusive future together.